let's just move on further and talk about the solution of a quadratic equation by the quadratic formula. It means we are already done with the factorization and with the completing the square method, and now we are talking about the quadratic formula, which is also sometimes called as Sridharacharya formula. So let us suppose if we are talking about the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then in order to find the solution, that is the value of x, we can use this formula, which is minus b plus minus square root b square minus of 4ac divided by 2 of a. So this is nothing but the value of x, or the value of the variable x or y, either which is present in the quadratic equation. Furthermore, it is actually derived from completing the square. So we have derived x is equal to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac by 2a from completing the square method. So always remember this formula if whenever we just wanted to find the solution of a quadratic equation. Moreover, this is also called as a Sridharacharya formula, and furthermore we can always have a condition over here that b square minus of 4ac, that is the value within the square root, should be greater than is equal to 0. Always remember, for the x is equal to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac by 2a, this term, that is which is lying within this square root, should always be greater than is equal to 0. So this is all about the quadratic formula. Now let's just further talk about the quadratic formula. As we have the value of x in terms of minus b plus minus, so we can write it as minus b plus square root b square minus 4ac by 2a, and further having the sign as negative within these two terms. So these two are nothing but called as the roots or the solution of a quadratic equation. Furthermore, there exists a special note over here that if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, because we have taken the condition previously that b square minus 4ac should always be greater than is equal to 0. It cannot be negative. So the note over here says that if it is negative, that is if it is less than 0, then the equation has no real roots. So always remember, whenever b square minus 4ac is greater than is equal to 0, it means it has real roots. But if it is less than 0, then it has no real roots, and they are also called as imaginary roots. So no real roots, or we can say the imaginary roots, they are one of the same thing. Now let's just move on further and talk about the question number 1, or the example number 1. So it says find the roots of 3x square minus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0 using the quadratic formula. So let's just use the quadratic formula over here. First of all, I'm writing the standard form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 over here. Let's just compare both of these equations in order to find the value of a, b and c. So if I'll compare these two equations, I will get a as nothing but 3, b as nothing but minus of 5, and c as nothing but 2. As you can see, we have a as 3 over here, b as minus of 5 over here, and c as 2. Now further, we do know that by using the quadratic formula, we can also call it as Sridharacharya formula. So by quadratic formula, x is actually equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus of 4ac divided by 2a. Now let's just plug in all the values over here. So x is equal to minus of b, the value of b is minus 5, plus minus square root of minus 5 whole square minus 4, the value of a is 3, the value of c is 2, within square root divided by 2a. The value of a is nothing but 3. So we have the value of x as minus is plus. So this is plus 5 plus minus square root. Minus 5 whole square is 25 minus 4 into 3 is 12. 12 into 2 is nothing but 24. whole divided by 3 into 2 is nothing but 6. So at the end we are getting the value x is equal to 5 plus minus square root of 25 minus 24 is 1 divided by 6. Furthermore, we can write it as x is equal to 5 plus minus 1 by 6 because the square root of 1 is again 1. Now we can take the value of x as two values depending upon the sign in between 5 and 1. So we can say x is equal to 5 plus 1 by 6, or either x can be equal to 5 minus 1 by 6 depending upon the sign in between 5 and 1. So x is equal to 6 by 6 and 4 by 6. So 6 and 6 get cancelled with each other, and 2 into 2 is 4, 2 into 3 is 6. So it means x is equal to 1 and 2 by 3. They are nothing but the roots of the given quadratic equation, and we have actually find the answer for this particular question using the quadratic formula. So this is all about the quadratic formula. Always remember, x is equal to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac by 2a is nothing but called as the quadratic formula, and using it we can find the roots of any quadratic equation.